Hi and welcome to part 4 video. This is the last section of the video where we've been able to show you all of the Isabelle collection bears for 2012, and we start with Marlowe. This is Marlowe. You've seen him on QVC. He's limited to only 300 pieces and he's made 100% mohair, and he is 15 inches. Slightly wobble jointed in his arms and also in his legs, so that when he stands up we immediately see that. So that is Marlowe. Bit of a darker bear. Is going to look really good next to bears like Jonah, which I'm going to grab now, just to upset the cameraman. There we go. Those two look absolutely stunning together. So, happy together, you see? So that's Marlowe. We then move on to another two of my favourite bears. This is Sherlock. And who would Sherlock be without his good, trusty friend, big friend, Watson? So this is Sherlock, who, by the way, has been in the wars. We'll just put Watson to one side for a minute. Sherlock has been in the wars a little bit. He has got some slight stitching here, which I'm going to show you. So this is actually detailed stitching across his arm there, and then on the top of his head there, and that's meant to be there. We haven't repaired him, that's meant to be there. So this is good old Sherlock, and good old Sherlock is limited to only 250 pieces. He's 17 inches and 100% mohair and 150% delicious. So there you go, that's Sherlock. Then we move on to his big friend and trusty partner, Watson. Who's this fella? I think Charlie likes this kind of corduroy material because she's obviously used it quite a bit on this collection, but she always tends to find certain materials certain years and kind of runs with that as part of the collection, so you can really tell the whole collection kind of goes together. But again, if you need ideas of how to put bears together, then you can always speak to the Bear House about suggested bear pairings, but we would suggest that Sherlock and Watson go together perfectly. Watson is only limited to 250 pieces, like his partner Sherlock, so if you want to buy the two together, then I'm sure you can do. 100% mohair, and he's a bit bigger. He's actually 21 inches tall, so that is Watson. We then move on to the last page, page 26, and this is the two big boys within the collection. We've got, we start off with Doofus, which is this big fella here. So this is Doofus, again with his satin ribbon. I'm just going to move that out of the way for a second so that you can see his beautiful big heart that he wears on his chest there. So this is Doofus, 21 inches, limited to 250 pieces. Again, anything which is 200 or 250 pieces is going to be quite tough to find, because although a stockist may have ordered 10 of this particular bear, because we have at least 200 stockists that take the Isabelle collection in its entirety, they will more than likely have only been allocated one of this particular bear. So that's the case with Doofus. He's got a waxed nose which has been stitched and then over waxed, and then we kind of airbrush over the top of that as well. So that is Doofus. And then last and most certainly not least is the one that you've all been waiting for, and I know the one which is causing a lot of people a lot of headaches. That is Mr. Brownlow. 24 inches, limited to only 200 pieces, I'm afraid. So there may be stockists out there that didn't even get allocated one, unfortunately. But a real difficult bear to find. A couple of points to note about Mr. Brownlow. This is a sparse mohair. I'm going to bring him up to the screen so you can see that, because some people don't like the sparse mohair, but we do that on purpose. This is the sparse mohair that we've used there. So it's a lovely, lovely mohair, but it's got a lovely backing on there, so so that it creates this kind of old vintage look. So that is Mr. Brownlow. And just so I can put him into size perspective for you, put Doofus next to him, so that's Doofus and Mr. Brownlow together. So, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'd like to give this video to you once a year. I'm going to do one for the plush as well. You may have already seen it. But I hope you've enjoyed looking at the Isabelle collection for part 2 2012.